Sometimes you do need support. It is the support that makes you what you are. My greetings to everyone present here. Before I reflect on Nagpur, epicenter of nationalism, every visit to Nagpur has been inspirational, motivational, and energizing. This one is unique and different. It is with full power packing. I am grateful to Shri Nitin Gadkari ji for making this opportunity available to me. It has been indicated that Nagpur is known for oranges, and it is also known for tigers. Two of the tigers are present here on the stage. Their spinal strength has been seen by one and all. But one tiger makes my task in Rajya Sabha difficult. When he rises to answer a question, I am in great difficulty. Every member of the house wants to ask question, and not as a complainant, but with hope and aspirations. This happened yesterday. A man of action, a man who believes in vision which is executed and realized on the ground. As luck would have it, all my visits to Nagpur so far have been with Gadkari ji at the center of it. Hon'ble Shri Ramesh Bhai ji, I share one thing in common with him. He was elected to Parliament for the first time in 1989. I was also elected to Parliament in 1989. I was part of the ruling dispensation and I was a union minister. But then look at his continuity. He continued being a member of Parliament till 2019. His number of years in Parliament happened to be twice the number of months I spent in Parliament. I keep on telling Mani, there are people who are known as MPs, ex-MPs. I belong to category of MPs, that is ex-MPs, who didn't complete their full tenure. Ramesh ji and myself have been governor also together. Enormously talented person and committed to his job. After his discourse and after Devendra ji and Nitin ji had indicated everything exhaustively about this university, great university, he was telling me that it is his mission, the Honorable Governor, to see that there is greater connectivity with the outside world also. Let me tell you, Honorable Governor, Nitin ji had not spoken to me, directed me, that I happen to be chairman of Indian Council of World Affairs, overcoming hurdles with innovation. And that is why we have seen a situation which we are seeing at the moment. He asked my wife, have you used the new road to Jaipur which goes to Mumbai? Friends, you will be amazed. The man has really done wonders. We have never used any other road except the latest. You must have seen Guru movie. All of you must have seen. It reflects about a great industrialist. When he was given time of 5 minutes, he concluded in 4.5 minutes और कहा जो आधा मिनट बचा है यही फायदा है। नितिन जी की वजह से देश में जहाँ भी सड़कों में जाते हैं समय बचता है और वही फायदा है। I am great admirer of Devendra Fadnavis ji, Honorable Deputy Chief Minister and son of the soil. I have been in virtual connect with him. I pleaded with him, let us have more non-virtual connect. A man who is spinally strong and has a shock absorber which any company in the world can emulate. Dr. Subhash Chaudhary, Vice Chancellor, well, credit goes to him. I must tell you, friends, I was a real bright student. I was always a topper. And that was the time when we didn't have a mule. We had Paulson. So whenever I was in the company of my teachers, some students from behind will murmur, Paulson, Paulson, Paulson. Because one has to be on the right side of teacher. He has brought about change, and due credit to him and Dr. Sanjay Dude. Distinguished members in the audience, academicians, faculty members, students, I must greet and salute Honorable Justice Vikas Sirpurkarji. I had the occasion to appear before him only once, and that is memorable. A man of incisive clarity. And mind you, everyone who was opposing me was a very known legal luminary of the country. I come from a village, and those of us who come with modest background, they don't make their presence felt immediately. But in the profession, I have been extremely lucky. I was designated senior advocate in 11 years of my practice, headed the High Court Bar at the age of 34 and in Bar Council. And those legal luminaries who had good footprint, I used to appear only in one case a day. I can never forget those 3 minutes. The learned judge says, you have only 3 minutes. I said, my lord, 2 minutes. And mind you, the grasp was so effective, the others had no answer. My salutations to him, sir. As chairman Rajya Sabha, I get real jolts also from sitting MPs. But I don't ignore even the ex-MPs. They also enjoy considerable influence. Vikas Mahatme, he did me a great favor that he wanted to be utilized elsewhere. So his term came to an end in 2022. I joined few months later. But I gathered from the Rajya Sabha Secretariat a man of commitment and believed in discipline and decorum. Honorable members of this august assembly, at this historic occasion, I can tell you, for me, it's a delightful moment, a moment I will ever cherish. I am honored and privileged to be associated with such an educational institution whose alumni have made the nation proud and contributed for public welfare extensively. Honorable members of this august assembly, I would agree with the previous speakers, and each of them has signaled it. Transformational change is brought about only by education. It is the education that alone can make a difference. Universities are living entities of sublime idea and ideals. They remain alive eternally in our progress, in our achievements. We have had universities in our country like Takshila, Nalanda, and have made India Vishwaguru. These institutions are eternal in our collective national memories. I know the government of the day is taking many initiatives, has put in place several policies that allow full unleashing of your talent, potential, energy to achieve your ideals, aspirations, and dreams. But I would speak from this platform that it is time for our industry in particular to nurture our institutions. I am slightly concerned when leaders of the industry make available astronomical sums to outside universities. We must have belief in our nationalism. We must ensure that our first priority is our nation, our nationalism, our institutions. Just imagine, we have somebody in our country who is given a Nobel Prize, and we give $5 million from the government to a foreign university. Imagine a big house of this country gives $50 million to a foreign university. I know their intentions are not malafide. They are acting in a proper manner. But time has come when we must do everything to nurture our own institutions. It is in this country we will have Takshila, Nalanda. Nowhere in the world you will find that kind of faculty which is in our country. If you go all over the globe, you will find the top corporate houses are having at their apex level Indian mind. That being the situation, I would make two important suggestions for consideration of the faculty and my young friends, boys and girls. One, economic nationalism cannot be compromised on fiscal considerations. And this is a very serious matter. In this country, क्या दिए, कैंडल, काइट, फर्नीचर, ऐसी चीजें बाहर की आएंगी? क्या हम उनको इंपोर्ट करेंगे क्योंकि कुछ सस्ती है? Trade, industry and business has to be extremely sensitive to this. This will help our country greatly, and this can be achieved only by citizens awakening themselves. This effort has to emanate from each individual. And second, reckless use of natural resources. That can't be permitted. No one has a right to use energy, gas, petroleum, water because he or she can afford. Your pocket cannot determine how much you have to use, because there has to be optimal utilization of natural resources. That is our bounden duty. Let me tell you, friends, I am admirer of Gadkariji for two good reasons. He finds solution by innovation and out of box. And that is why you'll find in roads in particular, he has developed utilization of material that otherwise were causing huge problem to us in our growth history. I'm sure you will bear this in mind. This university, look at the time when it was established. Look at the challenges that were around, and traversing 100 years is absolutely a journey most memorable, fructifying all our aspirations making us proud every moment. I felicitate all previous Vice Chancellors, the present team, and the alumni. But one idea I have been cherishing for a long time. Alumni of our institutions are natural think tank. They can contribute massively for growth of the nation. They can contribute to policy formulation. So I have given an idea for consideration of academicians and those who are at helm of affairs of universities. Let us have Federation of Alumni Associations. If there is a structured body that has alumni from institutions like yours, IITs, IIMs, and other institutions, and if they converge on a particular point of view, then two results will be there positively. One, they will help governance policies massively. And secondly, they will get an opportunity to structure giving back to the society by giving it to their alma mater. And if they give fiscal assistance to alma mater, make available avenues to the students of alma mater, they will be contributing for societal upliftment, and that will be a great national service. Friends, after more than 3 decades, the country came to have a new national education policy. It's a game changer. It has taken note of our civilizational ethos. It has reduced that part of education which was dragging the student. It has become skill-oriented. It has become aptitude-oriented. It allows you flexibility. And in the evolution of this policy, I am personally aware, by virtue of being at the relevant time Governor State of West Bengal, that inputs were secured from all stakeholders. This policy is already showing results. From this platform, I'll appeal to some of the states who, for reasons which can't be rationalized and who have not adopted this policy, to take a proactive step and end injustice to the students, and must immediately adopt national education policy. I'll tell my young students that when I was a student, difficulties were there. It was very difficult at that time. If you pass out from a university or college, you take a leap in the larger world. You will not have resources. I was enrolled as an advocate and wanted rupees 6,000 to have a library of my own. I still remember vividly the bank manager of a nationalized bank who gave me that without security. And look at the big change that has taken place now. Money is no consideration. You have to have an idea in your mind. You have to think out of the box. You have to take initiative. And that is why India can take pride in the number of startups we have, number of unicorns we have. We are envy of the world on those achievements. The historic achievements which the nation has attained under visionary leadership of the Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi. The world is stunned. I'll give you 3 illustrations. In 2022, we had digital transfers to the extent of 150 trillion US dollars. And those transfers constitute 46% of global transactions. Those transfers are 4 times the combined transfer by digital mechanism in the US, UK, France and Germany. Could you believe it? Look at our achievement to that extent. 4 times. Indian mind is genius. Even if there is no education, we are quick to learn. And that is why a fleet of 850 million smartphone owners, over 700 million internet users, and look at the per capita data consumption on internet. In 2022, per capita data consumption on internet by our citizens was more than that of USA and China taken together. That's a great achievement. We must take pride. You look at the other angle. When it came to world economy status, we were in double digit just a decade ago. We could never imagine where we will be. But in September 2022 came a gratifying moment, a historic moment. Bharat became the 5th largest global economy on the earth. And what an achievement! In the process, we overtook our erstwhile colonial rulers, the UK, the Britain. And by turn of the decade, no one has doubt, India will be 3rd largest global economy. But those who are in the audience as students, some of us may not be around in 2047 when India will celebrate centenary of its independence. That you will be at helm of affairs. My young friends, boys and girls, you are warriors of Bharat at 2047. You will make the difference. You will ensure that at that time Bharat will be Vishwaguru and we will be number 1 economy of the world. And why not? Our past is proof of it. Look at institutions, Nalanda, Takshila. Look at our global participation in economy. Look at our economy then. It was center of the world and we were number 1. That will happen for sure, and I have no doubt about it. There can be no better place than Nagpur to put my concern. And my concern is, can we allow just anyone, untenably, irrationally, without basis, to taint, tarnish, demean, insult our constitutional institutions? When the entire world takes India, and IMF has indicated it in categorical terms, that India or Bharat is the favorite destination of investment and opportunity. Some of us want to muddy that pudding. Some of us want to give the other point of view. Friends, time has come when we must do everything as individuals to neutralize anti-India narratives. And you know why it is happening? India never had that kind of global prestige, reputation, standing as it has now. Never ever in the history before an Indian Prime Minister commanded so much respect as Shri Narendra Modi has done. Take the case of his US visit. When he was addressing the legislature there, Congress and Senate, and he said 2 things. AI, artificial intelligence, and when he said the next thing, America and India, the entire house there spontaneously greeted him, because that is the situation. Both countries are democracies. We are mother of democracy. We are oldest democracy. No country in the world, mark my words, no country in the world has constitutionally structured democracy as Bharat has. Our constitution provides for democracy at village level, at panchayat level, at Jila Parishad level. Democratic values blossom and flourish in our country. But I put a thought for your consideration. Ours is a country, democratic. And in democracy, no one is above law. Everyone has to be subservient to law. You may be from any clan, any family, you may be of any stature. The law has to take its own course. But surprisingly, when law takes its own course, people take to streets. Can that be countenanced? Can that be overlooked? If one is being visited with consequence in law as per law, the only recourse is to avail the robust judicial system our country has. And our robust judicial system is highly independent. There can be no doubt about it. I therefore appeal to all of you, particularly my young friends, generate an ecosystem where such kind of tendencies are dealt with and neutralized. They are not in the interest of the nation. Friends, what we are seeing all around now, something which we never dreamt, we never thought of, it was beyond our imagination. The Honorable Governor and myself were members of Parliament in 1989. We had one power in our hand, 50 gas connections. And those 50 gas connections, Gadkariji, that was our power. We could, in a year, give 50 gas connections to anyone we like. Imagine the ground reality today. 170 million gas connections given to the needy families. And everyone has it. So big change has taken place. Everyone in the world, let me tell you, I have been as Vice President out thrice. They are stunned. After all, we are a country of 1.3 billion people plus. They ask me, how did you tackle COVID? Now, COVID was tackled in this country by most imaginative mechanism of the Prime Minister. In a country as large as ours, as diversified as ours, with all political space being occupied differently, the Prime Minister came with an idea of people's curfew to begin with. और उस जनता के कर्फ्यू ने कमाल कर दिया. उस जनता के कर्फ्यू ने एक ऐसी भावना जागृत की कि इस पेंडेमिक का, that is non-discriminatory, it doesn't spare the rich, the poor, developed nations, developing nations. वहाँ हमने क्या नायाब तरीका निकाला. और कहने के लिए हम हमारी सांस्कृतिक विरासत में विश्वास नहीं करते. ये जमीनी हकीकत है. कोविड के दौरान जहां एक और भारत की जनता को वैक्सीनेशन दिया जा रहा था, हमारे देश ने परंपरा को निभाते हुए पड़ोसी देशों को, नीडी देशों को कोवैक्सीन मैत्री के माध्यम से कोवैक्सीन दिया. और अनेक विश्व के नेता जो मेरे से मिलते हैं अपना आभार प्रकट करते हैं कि ऐसे मौके पर आपने मदद की जिसको हम कभी भूल नहीं सकते. फ्रेंड्स, I will tell my young friends, never fear the fear. Never be under stress and tension. Fear of the fear is the greatest drawback a human being can suffer. No one has ever succeeded in the first attempt. most historical achievements, scientific discoveries, inventions have been after multiple efforts. Therefore, allow full leg working space for your talent. Be slow to judge and quick to understand. The level of intolerance we have these days, we are just not prepared to listen. We are not prepared to consider the other point of view. We are so intolerant of the other point of view. I appeal to my young friend, don't have that approach at all. Keep open mind with the people who disagree with you. The moment you will appreciate their stand, you will be wiser. That does not mean your stand is wrong. That does not mean you have to agree to their stand. Truth is most important. But the real pursuit of truth is to engage with people who don't think the way you think. और तभी जाकर ये अमृत निकलेगा। यदि अगर हमने हमारी बात को जिद बना लिया, हमने असहमति को विरोध बना लिया, हमने प्रजातांत्रिक मूल्यों को तिलांजलि दे दी, आई पोज अ क्वेश्चन टू माई सेल्फ, पार्लियामेंट का क्या मतलब है? पार्लियामेंट का मतलब है कि देश भर के प्रतिनिधि वहां आते हैं, हर वर्ग का प्रतिनिधित्व करते हैं, उनका दायित्व है टू एंगेज इन डिबेट, डायलॉग, डिस्कशन, बट सर्टनली नॉट फॉर डिस्टर्बेंस एंड डिस्ट्रप्शन। अब इसका उपाय आप लोगों के पास है। वो बात कभी आगे नहीं बढ़ सकती जिसको जन समर्थन नहीं मिलता है। आपसे आह्वान करूंगा, जन आंदोलन बनाइए। उदाहरण हमारे सामने है, कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट असेंबली, जिन्होंने हमें ये कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन दिया, 3 साल तक वो चली, एक बार भी हल्ला नहीं हुआ, प्लेकार्ड नहीं हुआ, वेलमी नहीं आई, शालीनता से हुआ। एंड नेवर फॉरगेट, द कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट असेंबली फेस्ड incredibly difficult, divisive and contentious issues, but they sorted out them with a spirit of coordination, collaboration, cooperation. Now that is missing. Temples of democracy have virtually been ravaged, and I see a greater danger if temples of democracy, Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha and state legislatures, if they will not be platform of discussion, debate, dialogue, then the space can't be vacant. It will be occupied by others. And those forces will not be representative. Those forces will not be accountable. Those forces are not that have taken oath to uphold the Constitution. I therefore urge each one of you to activate yourself individually to ensure that there is a narrative afloat indicating we need to engage for the work for which the public is paying and for which Constitution has obligated us. I am sure all steps in that direction will be taken. I come from a farmer's family. The Honorable Prime Minister was good enough to call me Kisan Putra, indicating I am not actively a farmer, but my family is. What a moment of pride for me that 110 million farmers directly receive money in their account. So far this amount has been 2,25,000 crore. I am not on the amount. I am not on the capacity of government of which Mr. Nitin Gadkari is a part. I am on the capacity of the farmer, that the farmer is ready, technically equipped, as a result of inclusive banking mechanism, to receive that amount. And that is why this great revolution has taken place. What is happening now? There was a time when power corridors were infested with power brokers, middlemen. There would be people who would extra legally leverage decision making. They will determine how a particular policy will be formulated. We all know it now. These power corridors have been fully sanitized. The institution of power broker, unfortunately, no longer exists for them, and fortunately for the nation, that is extinct. That's a big change. Corruption is the greatest injustice for the common man. We need to have zero accommodation for corruption. That is being seen. But the corrupt have got together. They are trying to find escape routes. They are trying to garner agitational approach also. It is for the ordinary man, who is the greatest stakeholder in democracy and growth of the nation, to ensure that this system which has been evolved not only gets stabilized, but is on a different kind of path that helps our nation at large. Honorable friends, I would leave a thought with you that emanated from Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. And this is particularly for my young friends, boys and girls. I quote, "That which does not make a man worthy, does not teach equality and morality, is not true education." Very wise words. He further goes on to say, I quote, "True education protects humanity in the society, becomes the support of livelihood, teaches men the lesson of knowledge and equality. True education creates life in the society," unquote. I urge you to think critically, read widely, adapt consistently, and widen your horizons steadily as you go forward on your respective journeys. Respect your teachers, respect your family members, be a good citizen, always keep nation first. Keeping nation first is not optional. It is imperative. It is only way. Jai Bharat. Thank you.